everyone who's come to this video and are looking to improve their financial literacy through okfinancially.com. My name is Josephine and I'm here with Mr. Spencer Stamps, CEO of okfinancially.com. He has had extensive experience in entrepreneurship and computer technology, of which he's utilized such skills to build companies such as Alpha and Omega Courier Services and $100 web pages. His great tenacity and idealism has made him who he is today. The degree of his financial literacy has helped him develop through the years and led him to the person who he is today, a motivational speaker and teacher for okfinancially.com. So, Mr. Stamps, I'm looking forward to learning more from you and discussing the coursework that you've organized for the financial improvement of the general public. So, starting off, as an introduction of okfinancially.com, please tell me in a few sentences about what your goal is.
Okay, thank you. And thank you once again for an awesome introduction. OK Financially has been established. I've owned the domain for some time, but the plan is to take lessons that the ultra rich or the rich people use, information or specialized knowledge that they have and that they develop and they kind of keep in their own camp, and bring that down to the regular layman and make it available and accessible to the average person, middle class and about, that have the ability to employ their these techniques, the specialized knowledge, and improve their situation so that everyone that's involved can be, in fact, okay financially. So there it is.
That's wonderful. So if you can tell me a brief summary of how you came about with this idea of okfinancially.com. Tell me more about your employment services and experiences.
Okay. Well, it started, there was a company called Atlantic Bank a long time ago. They had a customer service center called Bank Phone 24. It was located in Garrett Mountain in West Paterson, New Jersey, not far from where I live. And in that bank phone, that's where I began a lot of my customer service training and experience. And as they begin to develop that center more to try to fulfill the needs of more consumers, one of the things they added was a mortgage department. So ultimately, I began to work in the mortgage department and other different loans, taking applications and so on and so forth. And that began to intrigue my mind, as well as give me a toe in the door with regards to mortgages and things of that nature. Before then, I had purchased my first home at 24. So I did have certain information about mortgages, but only from the aspect of a consumer. But this gave me the backdoor entry point into what exactly required, what was required in order to obtain a mortgage. What was the bank, what did banks actually look for, what criteria, the matrices and all of that sort of thing. Later on in my career, much later, I began to become a real estate representative or agent. And at the same time, I was working for a company called Argo Mortgage, which was based out of Passaic. Argo Mortgage gave me more insight into the mortgage industry. And then at the same time, I was working for Better Homes, New Jersey. It was owned by a guy named Lawrence Vecchio, who owned, he had somehow or another purchased the rights to use Better Homes. He purchased it from the magazine or something, and he had all of these different domains and websites, which was also intriguing to see someone flourishing in the internet marketing space as a real estate broker. So he was doing pretty phenomenally with it. But it was those things at Better Homes, New Jersey. I literally worked in the foreclosure division. So as working in the foreclosure division, if you're up for foreclosure, if your home is up for foreclosure, you have a couple of options here. You have the ability to refinance if you can, and you have the ability to sell your home ultimately, or of course the third option is just pay the back money. But obviously, if you were able to pay the back money, you wouldn't be in this situation. So you had a couple of ways to go, and because of that, I sat right in the middle of folks that were in foreclosure or in financial ruin and things of that nature. So it gave me a unique perspective on how to assist people. So that's where the foundational or the background of how I came up with this concept of OK Financially, it was further advanced through that experience.
That's a wonderful experience, putting yourself in the shoes of someone who is not at all financially stable and trying to brainstorm ways in which they can improve, let's say, their credit score.
Absolutely.
So I can see how that became the motivation for this website, okfinancially.com. Essentially, you want to improve the financial literacy of the general public.
Absolutely.
That sounds wonderful. I think a lot of individuals who are watching this right now are looking for that at the moment.
Yes.
So what can people expect when they go on to okfinancially.com?
Well, once again, okfinancially.com, what you're going to be able to expect is all of the lessons. It's kind of like, do the lessons come first, or like, is it the chicken or the egg? Well, in this particular case, the lessons became first. My history, with the lessons for this began at Joseph Cohn Rehabilitation Center, or Joseph Cohn Training Center down in New Brunswick, New Jersey. And there, I fell in love with all of the staff and the students. Some of those students are lifelong friends now, even though it's just been recent. And there were some questions that came up in the cafeteria by this one gentleman one day with regards to these credit card offers and things that he was receiving. And his response was, oh, I just ignore them. I get rid of them, or whatever the case was. And I was like, well, why would you do that? I mean, there's ways to make that thing work for you. And it was a skill set that I saw like very rich people using, that they live a very comfortable lifestyle already. And then they found ways of how to almost pay for nothing. And they were using other people's money to do it. And this is a course that's within this. This is one of the lessons within this course is referred to as credit wizardry. How to use these things to your advantage once we get your credit score to a place that you can take advantage of these opportunities. So all of those lessons, while I was at JKTC, I started this peer group based off of the conversation me and this gentleman had. And we started noticing that other students like, oh, I got that problem. I can use help with credit repair. I can do. So as those hands begin to go up, we approached the staff about a location in the center that we can use to facilitate these lessons. And so once that place was acquired, every Monday at 8 o'clock, we begin to go through these various different lessons. And, those lessons continue to today. In fact, I was just, on a lesson last night. And so we begin to, every Monday at 8 o'clock, we started with credit, then we worked our way to finances. And then the final section of all of this is protection, how to protect both your finances and your credit. So with that being the case, all of that information, as well as part of the work experience at JKTC, it's a 16-week program, but the 17 through 20 is this extended concept called the work experience program, which you were very influential in. And that particular part there, one of my work experiences was to take all of this information that had become well known and popular at the center, take all that information and give it structure and a proper foundation. And so I had to create actual lesson plans, coursework, all of that kind of stuff. And the plan was to ultimately launch out and see if we can help other vocational rehabilitation centers. But in the process of doing that, all of this information is just floating around, and we're just sharing it with just such a small select group of people. So now that we're just about finished with all of the lessons and we're moving forward, now we're going to put all of that information into the website. So I took the time to tell you all that just to say, ultimately, this land to the website, because what happens with the website, we can reach people that we're not in physical day-to-day contact with. We don't have to be limited to how many people we can assist based off of our proximity or our geographical location. We have the ability to reach anyone worldwide, provided that their credit system outside of the United States works similar to ours. I'm sure they can gain some kind of knowledge and information from what we're sharing. So that's what they can expect when they go to the website, though. They can find these lessons, and then they ultimately will be able to find, as we've done these lessons, we're recording those, and then we're taking that and cataloging that in the back office of the website. So anyone who gains access to the membership of the site, they'll also have access to old information as well as Q&As and things like that. And you never know what it is that's going to spark you into your next next big explosion. So all of that information will be cataloged in the site. And that's what they can expect with the site. They have the ability to get all of that, as well as some blog posts that would also lead folks back to this information as well.
That sounds wonderful. When can folks expect this to be launched?
Well, right now, this is the beginning of August of 2023. I'm already in contact with my webmaster. As you know, from my bio, I used to code myself. My vision loss does not allow me to do so at this point. So I had to start thinking like a CEO. So I hired people internationally all over the place to do certain work for me. And so I just recently was in contact with my webmaster, and they're waiting for me to get some more information together, some testimonials and things of that nature. And so sometime in September, this should be ready to rock and roll.
That sounds wonderful. It's just around the corner, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And that's why I'm so busy.
That's great. And also, I know you have a toll-free number.
Yes.
Would you share that now?
Absolutely. The toll-free number is 855-653-6565. One of the, it's also a vanity number. So it's 855-OKF-OK. And that toll-free number is currently working, and we're able to receive voicemails or anything like that, or phone calls. So if someone needs to reach out before the website is up and running and they have any information, or if something on the website once the site is up is a problem, and this number will be posted on the site, they can feel free to give that toll-free number a call. Sounds
good. And my last question to you is, do you have any words of encouragement to those who are looking to improve their financial literacy?
Yes. My thing is, every one of us have a hero inside. Every last one of us. I believe that this is what the cartoons and all of the superheroes are all about, from, Spider-Man to Superman to Batman and Robin. Everyone has this superhero within them. It just needs to be summoned. In the case of Superman, in order to summon his superpower, he had to leave the planet Krypton and come to the planet Earth. And our yellow sun gave him this supernatural ability. In the case of Batman and Robin, both their parents, were murdered by arch villains. And that's what gave them the motivation to fight arch criminals. And of course, in the case of Spider-Man, he was literally bitten by a spider. But whatever the case is, there was something happened to provoke or to summon that hero that's within us. And so we like to take these lessons here and somehow or another provoke folks, or provoke all of our audience into summoning the hero that's within them. There's so many people that are in our classes right now, and some of these people are much smarter than I am, in my opinion. But what happened is, I have this specialized knowledge base that I've gained over years. And once they have that information, they're excelling far beyond what I can do or what I've done. So with that being the case, we have all these various different lessons in here. One of the lessons that sparked a lot of, heroism within folks was how to repair your credit with a blank sheet of paper. Very popular lesson, but it is in the lesson plans. So my word of encouragement is that we don't stop until we somehow or another awaken or summon that hero that's within us. However we have to do that, is that if that's through this, if that's hitting the brick wall, hitting the bottom, whatever the case is, we have to get to a point that, okay, it's time to have a change of mind, change of heart, and literally reset the rudder that's within the ship that we're traveling. So no matter how the wind blows, no matter which direction the currents are moving, we have the rudder set in a place that's going to land us to a place of prosperity. And that's a concept that's taught that the rich people do. And this is something that we want to teach everybody else to, how to set that rudder so that you're in a perfect place. You're in a better place, no matter how the wind blows, howls, the thunders, no matter what happens, you land in a better place. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get everybody to be okay financially.
I love that. It reminded me of the word persevering.
Yes.
Persevering through any difficult trials until you see that hero come out of you.
Absolutely.
So I definitely love everything that you're bringing up right now. And I myself have had the privilege of seeing your classes and witnessing how you interact with the students. And I can see how you have a way with your words and piquing a person's interest, and also to really meet them where they're at, so that they follow and they understand where you're coming from, what you're trying to teach. And so I believe that this would be a wonderful experience for anyone who has had the great fortune of falling upon. And I really hope that there will be a lot of people who sign up on September.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, and I look forward to assisting as many people as we can. So the website will be there to facilitate that. But at the same time, if they call the toll-free number, they'll gain access to me directly at the moment as well. So I'm here to help. Absolutely.
Sounds good. And I love your logo, by the way.
Oh, let me show you again.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stamps.